This is the Rest of Everest video podcast, an almost unabridged expedition experience. Episode 34, New Friends, Old Weather.
Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome back to the Rest of Everest video podcast. I'm John Miller. Really want to say thank you to everyone who's been sending me emails. You know, I probably get the nicest emails of any podcaster out there. The people who watch this show are probably the coolest people on the planet, and I just really enjoy receiving emails from everyone. I also want to say that, you know, if you are a fan of the podcast and you like to support it and you just can't donate any money, hey, that's fine. Totally can understand that. But, you know, maybe consider writing me a positive review in iTunes. In iTunes, I've been getting just some really amazing reviews, and I don't think I've gotten less than a 5-star review since I launched, so that's been great. Well, this week it's just going to be me, and I'm going to do my best to stay warm. In Colorado here, it's been unbelievably cold. So let's head up to some warmer country. Let's head up to Tibet and Everest Base Camp, and we'll rejoin the expedition. Here we go. Okay, so this is a little bit of a review from last week. So this has been heading up to start his official summit bid. It was a beautiful, beautiful morning that morning. The wind wasn't very present, but it did come back a little bit, and you'll see that in upcoming episodes. The wind never totally stopped, but you can actually hear birds. That's great. So not long after Ben and the rest of the guys left to head up, we had this mysterious visit by several Chinese military personnel. It was quite surreal because, you know, as you might remember, the spring of 2003 was the time for the big SARS scare, the Severe Acute Respitory Syndrome. And so there was some really strange stuff going on, and especially in China. So because Tibet is under the control of China, it's all, you know, run by the Chinese military here. And there were these crews that came up to base camp to, I can only guess they were spraying some sort of antiviral juice all over the camps. And it was pretty scary for a second there because we weren't quite sure what was happening. And there had been all kinds of rumors that if you were diagnosed with SARS while you were in Tibet, you were going to be sent into a quarantine up in Lhasa. And, you know, it was very possible that you were never going to be heard from or seen again. And so that was, you know, that was just one of the many rumors that was circulating around base camp. I really don't have any idea if it was true. But anyway, so we got visited by this crew of, really, they were probably just teenagers, these men in the uniforms there. And they sprayed around all the camps. And they had obviously never been to Everest Base Camp. They had probably been stationed in Tibet, and they ended up, I filmed them walking over. That's showing the Hymex camp, and they ended up coming back our way after spraying our camp, and that's when I got up close to them and realized that they were just a bunch of kids, and they were very excited to see Everest, and they asked me if I would take some photographs of them in front of the mountain, and I did that, and they were very pleased. And then they disappeared, and we never saw them again, and it was just one of those strange things. So, alright, so this is Bertrand, and he is sending back email. I might have explained in some other episodes that we had a very popular camp because we had a satellite modem. Now, Bertrand was a member of our expedition, and so, of course, I always let those guys use my laptop to send emails. And that right there is Richard. He is a friend of mine from the Northern Ireland team. We saw him once in a previous episode, and you'll see more from Richard. He and I became very close friends, and he is sending an email to his girlfriend. And this is back in 2003, and Richard married the girl that he's emailing, and they recently had a daughter, so that's pretty cool. It's nice to know the future of these people while I'm looking back at these episodes from 2003. This is our friend Denis from one of the French teams that was there. You might remember the French dinner. Well, that was Denis who threw that dinner for us, so that was very much appreciated. He's actually handwriting a letter. And and come to think of it, that's actually something that you could really do, because there actually was a post office at base camp. So you could literally mail letters from base camp. Jeez, John, I'm getting all stuck up in the clutter. I will never forget that clutter. There was so much of it. That sound, that putt-putt sound of the generator will always take me back to expedition life.
Samedi 10, oui. The best one, it's
un peu réduit ici, mais après, ça va croiser.
All right, that fellow with the sunglasses on his head, that's my good friend Rupert. Hopefully the next few episodes Rupert's going to join us.
If I can to call.
And they're discovering that there's some fairly bad weather forecasts coming up.
It's interesting, yes, sure. Very interesting.
Oh, interesting.
John, do you close it?
I will. You want it gone. You want that forecast buried underground.
Can you print it for me? I stick it up my bed.
You stick it up the mountain.
I stick on the Alain's rucksack.
Right.
Okay, so in the green there, that's Richard again. And in the yellow down coat, that's Julian. Julian and Rupert were climbing partners and best of friends, and I ended up spending a lot of time with them, so you'll see in the next several episodes you'll see a lot from them. They were great guys. They really helped make Everest bearable for me. I'm very glad to be back in contact with them.
50, 60 miles an hour winds. Again, it's gone up again, 27.
But lower down.
What dates are this?
This is going through day to day from the 7th. So
Okay. What is there any big dip or not?
yeah, I mean they're reasonable. I mean lower down, aren't they? They're perfectly climbable up to. I mean the summit winds are high, but lower than that.
What are the 8,000 winds?
Things like 16 meters a second, 13 meters a second, 13 meters a second. Totally climbable, but obviously the top's pointing into higher winds. That should be reasonable, aren't they? These wind speeds are fine.
What like?
45 miles an hour.
Meters a second, 16, 13. Going up again on the 12th to 21. About 8, this is at 8,000.
That's quite a lot.
It's 40 strong,
That's
Julian.
70 k's an hour. So
No, sure, I'm just relative to what we've been having though.
Okay, the 12th of May,
But low down, it's much
relative
lower
what we've
than
been
that.
having. Anything that's not hurricane is good.
Sure.
65 miles an hour for the 12th of May. The 13th of May, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's going up. Yeah.
So just,
What about the 16th? There's a special 16th window. Do you have that or not?
Only as
No.
far as the 13th.
it goes as far as the 13th.
But lower down, I mean, there's nothing wrong with putting camps in
No.
at these speeds, but it's not summit weather.
No,
It really is the constant debate.
it's not.
You know, everyone's really weighing, the risk.
Interesting. I hope I can I maybe save that onto the hard drive?
Here is Pimba trying to get in touch with the team up at ABC or the North Col. And, again, you see footage of these people, trying to discover what the weather's going to be like. And, it can seem fairly boring to watch that. But really, you have to put it in the context of what we were experiencing. And for these climbers, it literally could mean the difference between life and death. And, I like to say that Everest is more than just this very dangerous adrenaline-filled experience, But it really does come down to Everest is dangerous. It's just not only dangerous. There really is so much more to it. But when you are considering the weather and the horrible weather that we had this year, then you realize just how valuable a good weather forecast can be, and it really is a matter of weighing all these risks.
¿Ves que me ves pasando?
His brother.
Yeah. Try.
Yeah, he and our high altitude cook, Pasang, they're brothers, so he was trying to get in touch with his brother.
Not for how long?
Pimba was the coolest.
Not for long day.
I could totally see him being a ladies' man. Get him onto any college campus in the U.S.
Long day.
He'd just go wild. He was such a cool guy. See those headphones on his head? I took a lot of headphones out with me just to always have backups of my backups, because headphones are very important to what I do. And I gave those to him, and I don't think he ever took them off the entire trip. He was so thankful to me to get those headphones, and he was always playing music on his little Walkman. He was definitely a fan of the Nepali pop scene. I think that plaque speaks for itself. This footage here is actually shot by one of my Russian friends, by Andre. You'll see Andre in just a bit. They were very kind to trade footage with me. I was able to edit a couple of news stories for them, and we sent the news stories back to these two climbers, Andre and Vova. They actually live in Siberia, and so I was able to edit some stuff together that they shot and send it over the satellite modem to their TV stations, so that their friends and family and their communities could follow their progress. And part of the trade is that I get to keep the footage, which they were of course happy to do, and they would have given it to me anyway. But so I got to keep all of it, and this is the first time it's been shown in the United States, or actually since the podcast, around the world. Some beautiful stuff here. You can always see some climbers coming and going in the background.
Итак, последние новости с Эвереста.
Here's
Все
Andre.
эти дни мы ждали хорошую погоду. При том, что над вершиной синее небо, на самом деле сейчас там бешеный ветер и мороз. Но по прогнозам через несколько дней погода улучшится.
I have
И,
no
наконец-то,
idea
наши
what he's
планы
saying. I wish I
определились.
spoke Russian.
Уже завтра мы выходим наверх и будем медленно подходить к горе, чтобы хорошую погоду встретить именно на вершине. Это будет
I
наша
once caught a
последняя
fish
попытка.
this
Надеемся,
big.
что она будет удачной.
16 мая.
This
Мы
is
находимся
Vova.
в базовом лагере Эвереста уже 1,5
In
месяца.
front of a Chorten.
Попытки зайти на вершину пока были безуспешны. Было 4 высотных выхода. Всем экспедициям очень тяжело, в том числе и нам, поскольку погода очень плохая. Мы понесли первые потери. Сегодня одного нашего участника, единственную женщину, Марину Вершову, транспортировали вниз с диагнозом пневмония.
There's actually a lot of footage that I simply don't have. Spending time with these guys. These guys are so familiar. They're kind of like family to me. And it's great. Well, it's great looking at this footage because it brings me back. And I just wasn't rolling all of the time. I really only filmed a fraction of the entire experience, and so even though I call this the rest of Everest, there's still a lot that was undocumented. It's impossible to film every second of every day. And I just spent a lot of time with these guys, just talking with them in simple English, and trying to pick up as much Russian as I could, and did my best. And we all became really good friends. And I'll never forget them. So it's great to show this to the rest of the world here. So, all right. So next week, it's going to be an episode all of you are really going to probably want to see. So please tune in. We're going to follow Ben up the North Col, and actually some more footage from Andre and Vova. We're going to get to see the carnage from the wind up at the North Col. So please tune in for that, and hopefully I will be able to schedule some more recording sessions with some more people. There's a lot more footage with some extra people who you just met in this episode, and I really want to bring them in to get their perspectives, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I guess we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. The Rest of Everest is downloaded all over the world every week. If you enjoy watching and would like to show your support, then take a look at my website. Aside from having lots of additional blog entries from the expedition updated every week, there's this little donation button on every page. Now, many of you have pressed that button, and your generous contributions are helping to cover my hosting fees. If you haven't donated but would like to, then just contribute any amount. In return, I'll give you access to the video and audio dispatches I sent out while we were actually at Everest. It's pretty interesting stuff. Contribute $25 or more, and I'll even throw in an iPod-compatible version of the film Everest: The Other Side. That's the project the entire podcast here is based on. As always, our announcer is Marlon May, and our music is provided by Wendy Wu. Check her out at wendywoo.com. Thanks so much, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching The Rest of Everest. For more information on the expedition, please visit therestofeverest.com.
Surprise.